So the late in the modern day of machine learning is an iterative process, right? So it's more about like, so okay, so first you get a working model, maybe just download an existing pre-trained model, maybe like a raw BERT, a GPT-3 model from the internet, and then you figure out your data. So you fine tune the foundation model with your data, and then you deploy the service to get more data from the real world. And then you use the new data you get from the real world to fine tuning the model again. So this kind of becomes in a feedback. The most important part for this process is about the feedback of the retraining and fine tuning, and to use the result of your retrain or fine tune the model to get a new data from the real world. And so for this process, I think you can already notice that. So the model becoming some kind of a commodity, right? So you model kind of like interchangeable for this process, because, well, if some genius in the academy or in the Google train a new model or create a new model, brand new model that's performing way better than BERT, and then, well, they are going to be published. Then you can just grab that and try use your own data to fine tune the model to make it more suitable for your task. So that's the process. In this process, the most important part will be the speed of the feedback loop. Like, so how fast can you fine tune the model and to get more data and to fine tuning it again? So you're kind of like doing a specialized process from a general purpose model to a model that's specialized for your problem, right? So the problem becomes like, so how do I like kind of like a genius inventing a new model to like, so how fast can I iterate on the process and on the problem? And the speed of iteration requires a data-centric workflow, because so if you go back to the previous workflow picture, you can see that the most tedious part, and I think a lot of people doing machine learning right now will understand that. So like 60% of your work, or 90%, 80% of your work is about fine tuning and transforming, cleaning up the data. So if you get a better data infrastructure, you can spend a lot less of time on this process, and you get faster iteration time. And another key aspect of this is that, so you're going to have quite a lot of models. Like, for example, you want to solve one problem, maybe fraud detection, maybe revenue forecasting. You are not just going to solve a problem with one models, because right now, as the reality of the world, models are quite limiting on their usage, on what they can do. So for one problem, you might need like tens of hundreds of models to work together to solve a problem. Well, then you have to manage these hundreds of models right now. So I think it's quite common for you to have like hundreds of models deployed into production. And then the problem becomes like a warehouse manager. Like, how do you find out which model you have to use, which model is working correctly, which model is not, because it's not like a really special product anymore. It's more like a commodity. And to solve this kind of problem, I think this is kind of becoming a metadata management problem, because it's about avoiding some kind of information. I would call it as ghost knowledge or folklore. So what is ghost knowledge? Ghost knowledge is that something that is some kind of knowledge that exists. People know this kind of knowledge if they are the insider of the team, and they took it as granted. So if I'm an outsider, I'm a newcomer for this project, then no one will think that, okay, so you need to actually learn this knowledge, because they took it as granted. Like, so for example, a common example for that will be like, who owns this data? If the data has problem, who should I consult? Like, so maybe there's some kind of old wizard that created this data pipeline like 20 years ago. Then if they found a weird column in the data, then I have to ask him. But who is this guy? This kind of a gold strategy for the data processing, and this is going to take quite a lot of time for it to process. So this is going to be the key part for your speed operations, and everything else will just be will slowly and surely becoming common, like computations, like foundation models. This kind of thing, like starting to like, okay, so you just pay the money and they will come to you naturally. So you don't have to think about it too much because everyone is using the same kind of computation hardware and same kind of foundation model. What differentiates you from the computers are the data you have. And sure, you have to have some kind of data. You have the data set detection to have the best reaction time because the data set is going to destroy the performance of your machine learning service. So you have to have some kind of infrastructure to this kind of change.